Hi there. I usually turn on YouTube. I'll plug up YouTube and watch some YouTube and then go to sleep. And usually, I can retain some of the stuff that I hear while I'm somewhat halfway asleep and stuff. Well, I was like laying here on the couch and I halfway asleep, halfway awake, and they would start talking about the Mandela effect. And I've been, kind of listening to this before, way like back, I don't know when it started, I guess, when I started hearing about it. And it just made me think a lot about certain stuff from the Bible. And, I'm going to read this off to you. It's a small little, it's kind of long, but small too, if that makes sense. But it's Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 1 through I don't know, 12 maybe. I don't know how long this is. But it says here, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of the Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you. Okay, again, listen to this. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. Now, you could say now, there's already a falling away. There's been a falling away from Christ. And with all this ISIS stuff and like affecting different parts of the world, yeah, there's a falling away. There's been one. And I can't remember when it first started. I just know it's been a while. But anyways, it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now, this is, when you take something from the Bible, you also got to go, you can't just like a lot of preachers say, pick parts and pieces out of it and then sling it into something that's happening now. You got to go with it all together. But it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all disbelieveness of the unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in the unrighteousness. Okay, I just read 1 through 12 of chapter 2 of Thessalonians. Second Thessalonians. Now, I don't know how to take this. I don't want to take a piece of it out, because then I wouldn't be doing what I was saying you can't do. But I'm just confused. I don't know. this Mandela effect thing. Like, I noticed something one day. I think it was at Kroger's, and I was shopping, and I just so happened to notice in the cereal aisle, it said, and I might be saying this wrong, but Fruit Loops. I think it used to be FROOT Loops, and now it's Fruit FRUIT Loops. And I was like, when did that happen? Like something caught my attention with that, and I was thinking, when did that change? And but I didn't think a whole lot about it. Like after that, just that little, for them seconds, I thought about it, and I just put it to the back of my mind, just thinking, well, maybe they changed their name. They changed the label of it for their cereal. And then, I don't know, one day I think I was on YouTube, and I think I was watching something about CERN, the LHC, Large Hadron Collider. If you all don't know anything about that, which everybody should, but I've talked to quite a bit of my friends and stuff at work, and very few know anything about the LHC. I'm like, really? For real. So you need to look this thing up. And it makes you wonder, though. And something else, like today, I'm going to totally get off topic. I do this all the time. But, I don't know. I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. What is that? Peter Griffin from, was it, and Stewie? Family Guy? I think that's the name of the show. This guy on YouTube that was talking about different stuff in the movies and stuff played this particular part where it had, like, the dog. I can't think of some of the characters' names. I know Peter, like some of the main ones, Stewie. But it had the dog with a chalkboard, and Peter was sitting on a couch, and it was watching, before it cut to the scene where they was watching TV, the dog was saying, okay, Peter, this is, like, he drew a line and then an X at the beginning of the line, and he said, this is when you started, like, you got to know Lois Lane, or Lois, and he said, then he made a mark in the middle. He said, or this is where your life begins, I think. And then this is where you met Lois and fell in love with Lois. And then the third one, X, was like when they got married. Or see. Yeah, I think that's when they got married. I think that's how he was saying it. And then he said, but somewhere in between, this, like at the bar, when you was at the bar, he said something happened between the first X and when you went to the bar, something between that happened. They changed the course of time. And he drew a line down and then underneath of that. So it kind of diverted their whole life. So they weren't together no more. Lois wasn't, like, some stuff got switched around. And he said, you need to figure out what we did, or what Peter did to divert off of time. And so it pans over to the television, and they're watching, like, a late night show, and it had all these, like, actors on there and stuff that are now of this time, and then it had Chevy Chase in there, or Chevy, I think. Once they said that, then the dog was like, oh no, or Peter did. He said, oh no, we really messed up. We did something wrong. We really did. And then it flipped over to, like, I think Peter Griffin falling through his ceiling, landing on a one of these singers, this band, and hurt one of the guitarists or something, and they was like started like yelling at him a little bit, like, who are we gonna get to play in our band now, play the guitar? And it turned out being that dog. So he was sitting there just playing the guitar, and then he looked at this picture, and Lois and Peter Griffin thought I heard something. I think it's my light. But anyways, Peter Griffin, and there was somebody else. I think it might have been the dog or something. There was another person in that picture, but they slowly faded away. And then that dog that was still on stage playing the guitar was like, "Hurry it up, Peter! You can do this," or whatever. And it flips over to like when Lois and Peter were dancing, getting ready to dance, and that like weird neighbor was like getting ready to kiss his wife, and so he says something to the guy, Peter does, and hits him in the face, and he falls down on the floor. And he says, "Sorry, Lois, I got to do this," and he gets ready to kiss her. And that was the end of the like little segment of the show that this dude was showing. But I was like, I started thinking about that. I was like, damn, because I don't watch a whole lot of Family Guy, like. But when I seen that, I was like, wow, that's weird. Because Family Guy has been shown to show or predict certain stuff that's happened before. And I ain't going to go through them all. But I'll tell you, like, there was one for the marathon bomb. You ought to look that one up. There was one for Brian that died in Fast and the Furious. They did one for him, an episode. And this was like before anything even happened to him. And then there was oh, well, no, that was part of the bombing, of the marathon bombing. I don't know. Can't think of the other one. I knew there was at least 3. Well, unless you want to count this one that I just seen. That could be 3. But yeah. So when I thought about them two and that stuff, and I seen this, I was like, this is freaky. Now, if that's what God's talking about with the strong delusion, but that's toward the end. I mean, the man of perdition, he ain't here yet. But a lot of this, the verse that I read, a lot of that's already come true. Like, we're in those days. So, even though the man ain't here yet, the Antichrist, there's a lot of Antichrists here. A lot think Obama was the Antichrist. All Antichrist is the opposite of Jesus. They don't like Jesus. They don't love him. They don't want nothing to do with him. So, just because he ain't here yet, what's that strong delusion? Is the strong delusion a lie, like Obama probably has already done and lots have believed him? Or what? I don't know, but I just know that these people who are messing around with CERN, there's a lot of scientists. The dude in the wheelchair, I can't think of his name. He uses a computer to talk. I can't think of his name right now. But he's an atheist. He don't believe in God. But he has said that what these people are doing could potentially destroy our earth. I mean, our universe. I think that's how he worded it. So that's pretty deep. Whatever these people are doing. Now, I've already been hearing like stuff that these scientists have discovered messing around with this CERN, and it also says in the Bible. I have to look for it, but I can't remember like what verse it is. I think it was in Revelations, though, because it talks about a man who holds the key to the bottomless pit, and when this thing is open, this pit is when it opens, they let something out that you can't put back. And these things that come out, they're going to be like the Lord talks about. They describes what they look like. But they're going to have like stingers of scorpions, and they are to hurt everybody that don't have like the mark of God, like I guess in their heart or on their forehead, or it's not on their forehead. I think it's in their heart. Like, in other words, from the Bible, if you don't believe in Jesus, then and try to do in His words or in His name, then these beasts or these things that come out of this pit are going to have stingers like scorpions. And they're going to affect all those people that don't believe in Jesus. And they're going to hurt them, like, really bad. Because I've never been stung by a scorpion before, but people who have know it hurts. And it's really bad, because scorpions have poison in them. So, I'm trying to, like, go base all this stuff off memory. Can't remember. It goes on though. Man, I wish I could remember that verse. I could read it off too. But just Google it. Google the LHC and the man that holds the key to the bottomless pit, and just read that verse. Read the verse. Find that separate, and then look up the LHC with the bottomless pit, and they'll tell about it. There's a video on YouTube that talks about it. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot of weird stuff. I like stuff like this, though, when it's intriguing. There's some stuff that's happening that I'm not a physicist. I can't explain. But I know the Philadelphia experiment years ago about these people. Our government was experimenting with this kind of stuff, and they tried to teleport a ship to another point, I think. And when that happened, somehow there were some men on the ship, and it embedded them inside the ship. And like once they found out where the ship went, like when they transported the ship to the other side, then they checked on them, and the men were embedded into the concrete of the ship. And some of them were still alive. Now, could you imagine that? Just going through a teleporter, and you know them guys probably didn't know anything about it. Our government was just, I don't know how they did it, beamed something down on them, and you'd probably think everybody on that ship probably thought they were on drugs once that thing was activated. And then next thing you know, it's over, and then you're in a ship, and you can't move, like quicksand. You're bedded in it. You can't get out. Now, I'm not saying that's how I was told how it happened. I think my dad told me about it. But there's a lot going on now saying that it happened slightly different. But that's how I was told it happened. Now, if anything has changed, and I'm telling it wrong to a lot of you all, then, maybe the Mandela effect has something to do with that. I don't know. CERN has something to do with it. I think it's weird that CERN, they did this big old dance and stuff on the opening of this big hydrogen collider. And this dance is weird. It's real weird. Like, it's not something that you should do on an opening ceremony. This thing is like, if these people did that, they're nuts. They're weird. Because any normal individual, that you wouldn't do that. No, you would have like maybe a ribbon with some scissors with a bow. Y'all already know where I'm going. And have a big ceremony that way. Maybe cut the ribbon when it's open. Not have a weird, crazy dance that lasts hours of a showing. I don't know, it's crazy. This life, it's weird, and it's getting weirder. It's getting weird. I don't know, it's just crazy. It's 22 minutes long. Trying to think of something else that I was going to talk about. Got my coffee with me. That's probably my problem. I'm probably just overly caffeinated on coffee, even though it's my first cup for the morning or evening, however you look at it. Because I just got up not too long ago, and it's almost 5 in the evening. I work late night shifts, graveyard shifts. But this is Memorial Day, so I'm off for the weekend and today. So I'm enjoying it. Kinda. I had to help a buddy work on his car with brakes and stuff. Helped rebled his lines for him. Showed him how to do it and stuff. I try to help people when I can. I'm a Virgo. So, if you know anything about Virgos, you see them on Facebook all the time about never pissing a Virgo off. Yeah, I've got a good heart, but if you make me mad, watch out. Stay back. I try to help a lot of people out. I really do. But it always seems like maybe it could be my fault too sometimes. If it's something not too major. But I do a lot of help out, and I don't mind getting, I'm like kind of like in God's way. It's better to give than to receive. So I try to help as much as I can with people. And I don't try to expect anything back. I say try because there's sometimes I wonder, I'm like, am I ever going to get anything for this, for helping, because usually when I'm in trouble, which, I don't know, here lately, it's been a while since I needed any help with anything major. But I can remember whenever, like, okay, for instance, my truck broke down. Got a nice truck, 2008 F-150. I drove it through we had a flash flood one night. Drove it through a flood. And it broke down. Yeah, something ended up shorting out. It was a sensor up underneath the bed of my truck. It goes to the fuel pump. That thing, yeah, crapped out. But anyways, so it left me stranded, and I had to get a tow truck. So I had a tow truck come get me, tow it to a shop, put it in the shop, and I had to wait about 3 or 4 days. Luckily, I had another vehicle to drive, and they fixed it. And then I went and paid for it and got it. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd been nice to have a buddy to, like, there with me and haul my truck back, and then we could talk about maybe what it could be that's wrong and save me some money. But it didn't work out that way, and usually it don't. And I wish I would have waited, because it would have saved me 150, probably $150. No, $250 would have saved me. But that's what I'm talking about. I help all kinds of people out, and still, seems like I gotta help myself out. But I don't know. I would say that makes me stronger, but then what's that make them? You know? It don't make them weak. I just like to think, I don't know. I seen a thing on Facebook too where it said God only gives his strongest soldiers the biggest problems, or something like that, to that effect. So I like to think that I'm pretty strong. And I try to be. I'd like to go on and tell you a little bit more, but I gotta stop. This is already almost 30 minutes here. But I don't know. Hopefully you all enjoy watching me talk and sharing some gospel with you on what's going on now. Leave some comments. I don't care if they're good or bad. I like the good ones, but you know what? If y'all want to leave some bad ones, leave some bad ones, because I'm not one of those types that block off the comments after making a video. I mean, I'll read the bad comments too. I probably won't read many of them as the good ones. Alright, but I'm letting y'all go. Hope y'all have a blessed day. If you're watching this day, have a great Memorial Day. And thank you for everybody that's tried to do what's right and helping others. And those who support our country, thank you. Soldiers, Marines, military, thank you. That's definitely a hard thing to do, but you know what? If you're like me and you're a good person, and you know it's for the right reason, and you're doing it for the right reason, and it makes you feel better about yourself, that's great. Do it. Continue doing it, because there's times that if they ever drafted us, I would want to do something like that. But right now in my life, I've got, like many Americans, our lives are busy. We've got family to worry about and stuff. Not saying that military people don't either, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just glad that we got people that do this. I'd still like to keep my job. If something were to, happen like it, if I got drafted, of course, I know they would have to save my position at my job if I ever got drafted, because, that's part of military. But, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, and I'll see y'all later. God bless. Bye.